Howdy, howdy, fellow trainers, and welcome back for another edition of the Pokemon Bliss Oblivion Project here at PTE Creative. In this visit to the Helzari region, it's getting a little bit colder here in the Northwoods. It's getting to be that time where all the birds are starting to fly south, and I thought, what could possibly be good Pokemon for right before the holidays? I thought, let's give you the flying starter today. So, with that in mind, let's go meet our new Pokemon. Today I am proud to present to you Sash, which is the flying type starter. Remember, Helzari, the themes are of abundance. It's based off North America, but very much specifically United States. So we have a starter for every single type. So here is Sash, which obviously iconic bird of the US is the bald eagle, and it is the symbol of the United States, so I thought there's no better way to show that than in the flying starter. There's no more apropos animal to base a flying starter off for this region than Sash. So we get this very celebratory, prideful Pokemon here, which can commonly be found in the northern woods, the mountain forests, around these rocky terrains where you're seeing the woods change from these, more lush greeneries to they start to thin out and be a little bit different and to be a little bit easier to hunt through, where the air really takes home the champion of that creature. So that's why we have that as the common location of Sash. Now, as we go to its Pokedex entry, Sash, again flying type starter, is the prideful chick Pokemon. A basis of national pride, Sash is a small and proud Pokemon. Sash demands strong work ethic from a trainer as its pride doesn't accept failure well. Which I think is pretty characteristic to the United States, if I may say so myself. Its ability is Keen Eye, so it's not going to lose accuracy very easily, or if all, with this ability, which I think was very apropos for the basis of this Pokemon. Recently, in the last couple months, I got to visit Alaska, and while up in Alaska, I saw so many bald eagles. It was ridiculous, especially for someone when you're in the United States. A lot of foreign visitors to the country, like, oh, I want to see a bald eagle. And 99 out of 100 of them never do, because they go to areas in which the bald eagle is endangered and has no ability to really thrive and live because it's too urban. You have to go to these very rural areas to go find a bald eagle, unless they're in these preserves or things of that nature that are just perfectly set up for them. And when I went to Alaska, it was just dominated by bald eagles, to the point where someone in Alaska might be like, "Oh yeah, another bald eagle," whereas someone from the lower 48, I was flabbergasted, because other than in the very very rural northern sections of Maine, I had never been able to see a bald eagle before. So it's very exciting to get to finally see that. But while I was there, the tales that you hear and how evolution has taken place with them is their eyes are so precise, and they are so precise that it is very hard for them to miss. Maybe they don't get their prey, but it is extremely hard for them to miss their prey. And I just thought that was a very wonderful ability to have to signify the animal here. So that's why Sash has Keen Eye. It's about 1 foot 8 inches tall, so you can see that in comparison to our basis trainer, which is Chris from Pokemon Crystal. Now, base stat 310, it is 1 point higher than Charmander, and I used Charmander as the basis for the stat totals. I say this almost every episode: if you're going to make your own Pokemon, your own Fakemon, get as tangible as you possibly can. Make them as close to reality as possible, because then your Pokemon inherently feels more realistic. Ironically enough, I've just started doing commission work, and I'll talk about that a little bit, but the commission that I was asked to give stats-wise didn't inherently make a whole lot of sense. But if you're going to do it, don't give your Pokemon these base stats that are enormous, right? Come to understand it, learn it, if you're really going to make a project and a go of this. So again, base stat 310. HP is 45, so it's the lowest stat of them all, but the speed stat is 65. A Swooping Eagle, the speed in which they can go, I was just inspired by that. I said, we got to keep the speed. And then all its other stats, attack, defense, special attack, and special defense, they're all base 50. So it's a very balanced Pokemon, with its speed being its greatest asset. It evolves at level 16 to what we are not quite sure yet, or the visitors to the Halzara region aren't quite sure yet. And then its final evolution will take place at level 36, which is quite the fun one to say the least. I'm really excited to share this entire line. If you do want a sneak preview, you may want to go back into the YouTube history channel, the history of this YouTube channel, because you may or may not be able to see it. But if you want to wait and enjoy it in this new format and then think it's the best format for it, just hang tight because it's going to be a heck of a lot of fun. But that is it for this edition of the show. I want to say thank you so much. And this is our last episode before the holidays actually hit. We will have a Christmas Day episode, and it should be a fun one for you. And we're going to have a New Year's Day episode, which will also be a pretty fun one as well. Now, before you go, I will say this. If you really enjoy my Pokemon designs, which I hope you do, hence the reason you're doing this, give a comment, give a like, whatever you want to the video to be super helpful. We'd love that. However, I'm actually starting to do commission work too. I got some people to start reaching out. They want to get their own Pokemon. If you want your own Pokemon, reach out to me. We can talk. We can try to see some stuff. Especially if you're working in, I've talked to some Pokemon Project people in the past, and we just couldn't come to a deal. But there is interest on side. So if you guys want someone to create some new Pokemon for you, I'd love to help you out there. So reach out, and then we'll start talking that way. But that has been it for this show. Happy holidays to everyone out there. I hope you enjoy this holiday season here, wherever you may be around the world as well. I hope it's positive, and if it's negative, go find something to be positive about, because you can't have that negativity. But peace, love, and hugs to you all. Stay tuned for some really cool stuff coming up from the channel, from the podcast, and everything else.